Okay, so Harupriya, thanks for joining our session. So, would like to know a brief introduction of yours. Give,
Yeah, of course.
yeah, please.
So I'm Priya. I'm currently a freshman at the University of Central Florida studying biomedical sciences and biotechnology. Um, I graduated from Stanton in Jacksonville, Florida, and I am pursuing medicine because that's something I'm really passionate about and I want to become a doctor in the future.
All right, that's good.
That's great.
So,
That's
how
great.
was your journey of your preparation? Was it joyful or it was little stressful?
For college, I think it was a mix of both. So I was confident in when I was applying to colleges. I had the activities, I had the scores I need, and I was taking a rigorous curriculum. So I wasn't exactly stressed when applying to colleges. I just think it was a large workload because you're trying to balance 8 to 9 subjects along with leadership positions, and then make time at night for writing essays and reviewing your application. So I think balancing all of that together was very stressful. But once the application period was over, it was just more of like choosing which college you wanted to go to.
Hmm. That's great. That's great. So, you have been part of us and you prepared for SAT and ACT with us. So, want to know how did Masterclass Space help you in college admission process?
Yeah, of course. So I actually had my ACT score before coming, but I really wanted to work on my SAT score because that is something at the end of the day that colleges look at. So they want to see that you tried both the ACT as well as the SAT, and not just one of the scores. So I had my math score perfectly fine, but I really wanted to work on my reading score, and that's where I worked with Hassan sir to increase my reading score by 20 points. I think if I did have more time, it would have probably went up even more, but I think that's really where it helped because a lot of times, reaching that point is what colleges are looking for.
And you finally made 1500 in SAT and 35 in ACT.
Right. Mm-hmm.
That's great. That's great.
All right, okay. So, finally you have chosen your college. So, how much scholarship did you get?
So
And
I got full tuition as
Mhm.
well as like money for my room, boarding, etc. So you can think of it as a full ride,
Mhm.
meaning I don't really have to pay anything for my college. It varies because I am in state for the college that I am applying, that I accepted. Of course, it would be different if someone was not from the state of Florida, but it averages to about, it depends for the room, but about $3,500 a semester for tuition. So around $7,000 for tuition, and then of course room and board varies.
All right, okay. So, any tips or any tricks or any suggestion, guidance you will give for the other students who are also trying to get the scholarship?
Yeah, so a lot of times when you're applying for public schools, the scholarship process is very automatic. So there's really no separate application when you are trying to apply for scholarship for public schools. Especially if you're in state, it's very straightforward process. So what colleges, so there's no trick to getting scholarships, but the tips and advice that I could give are always, they look at your GPA. So try to take rigorous courses, of course, that align with what you want to study in college, and try to maintain your GPA. And I don't know how certain schools do it, but class rank does help at the end of the day. And of course, your SAT and ACT scores. When you're looking for scholarships outside of the university, those are very difficult because this is more of like a complete national and international number of students applying. Then they start to look at your extracurricular activities. So try to get involved as early as possible. So freshman or sophomore year of high school, try to get involved in some kind of extracurricular activity that you're passionate about and that your essays can reflect. and try to work your way up. So most of the organizations would have leadership positions that you can apply to after your second or your third year of volunteering with an organization, and try to get onto the leadership team. So that way you have some substantial amount of, it's almost like, the colleges know that you are involved, right? So they want to see your involvement. How did you make an impact in that organization and your community?
That's great. That's great. So, Priya, how important is it to get a good SAT or ACT score?
Okay, so that question, I think it is fairly important in the sense that it really depends on where you're applying and what you're applying to. So I think that the SAT and ACT score is what initially, at least this is my personal opinion and it might be different, it's what kind of draws the admissions officers to your application. So to kind of look at your application, you need to have good grades, a good SAT score and a good ACT score, because that's what really shows your skill and your talent there. Once they open your application, it's really your extracurricular activities and your essay and who you are as a person that gets you into the college. But I think the fact that the admissions officer is looking at your application, you need to have a good SAT and ACT score. So I think that's where it really helps. But would a person get admitted into a college only for their SAT or ACT score? Probably not, because there's so many people with the same exact numbers. Numbers don't speak for themselves, right? So you need to show that that very different aspect of you. How are you as a person? So I think it is important to an extent.
Oh, nice. So finally, now you have, touched or stepped your first step of your life, first goal of your life. So what is your ultimate goal, final goal of your life? What do you want to do in your whole career?
I would really like to be a doctor. I'm good at a lot of different things. Growing up, I always thought I was going to go into like engineering and computer science because that's what I really love to do, math, right? But I realized that's not really the field that I wanted to work in. Computer science is just not the thing for me. I've seen people in my family do it. All of that. It's not, I feel like I would like to make an impact in a person's life on a much more direct scale. So rather than working for a company and then trying to do something there, I would like to, work with people every day and make a difference in their life in a more direct way. So that's why I know I want to be a doctor. I don't know which kind yet. I think I still have some time to decide on that. But eventually I would like to do something for the underserved populations or the homeless populations in the future.
That's great. That's good to hear. So, Priya, have you studied in India?
No, I have not.
Okay, but your roots are from India, right?
Yes, I am from India. My parents are from India, but I have never studied in India.
Okay, so the one question which we would like to ask to students whose roots are from India, would you like to do something for India?
Yes, I would. I still have family back in India, and I think it's very important that you give back to your roots. Growing up in the US, of course, the US is my home, but India is just as much as home to me because that's where, my culture and everything is from. So I think I would definitely like to give back. Kind of goes back into that same way of, giving to the underserved populations in India. I think there's plenty of resources for people who have access in India, but there's not as much for people who don't have that kind of access in villages and whatnot. So if there's anything I would like to do in India, it would be to help the people who don't have access to healthcare or something like that.
Good, lovely. All right, okay. Any social or charity work have you ever thought for yourself to do in future?
Social or charity work. So I am part of organizations in high school as well as in college where we helped our community and the homeless populations, and we raised money for different organizations. And that kind of goes back to what I was saying. There's a lot of opportunities, especially in the US, if a student really wants to make a difference in their community or in a larger scale. And that's why I was telling students, if you really want to like stand out for applications, join a volunteer organization and work your way up to leadership. And that way you can come up with events that would help people in your community, right? So more of a leader. I am part of organizations today where we do blood pressure screenings for homeless populations, and we provide them with information on how to take care of their health. In the future, not sure yet what I would like to do, but I definitely would like to continue what I'm doing today. It's almost like a thing that it's a part of like my academics at this point. It's not like something that I do extra. It's like I have a dedicated time, I spend it to do charity work, and that time is just a part of my regular daily routine.
Good. So Hassan was your mentor. So I just wanted to take some feedback about Hassan.
Of course.
So what? Just before him, see how I'm daring to take interview. Feedback before Hassan himself. So what's the best thing you liked about Masterclass Space?
He's very patient. I think when it comes to like reading and English, it takes patience because the answers are not as obvious as you think they are, right? Math is like, if you show the steps, it's kind of obvious, right? But when it comes to reading, I think it takes a lot of patience, and that was something I really appreciated.
Good.
Yeah, thank you. And a lot of blessings from my side too, because see, I want to see as a doctor. But because see, we are tired of the corona, so I want that you should be, doctor for, such, viruses that really in future it is about to attack. Because I'm afraid of China, the China just has started. So it has given the scope to doctors too. So, there is problem at the same time, it's opportunity. So now for the doctors, especially for the students from the medical field has, got a lot of chances for the future one to get prepared for,
I agree. I think research is a really nice thing that doctors get to participate in. And especially I'm kind of interested in more like genetic type of research, like genetic engineering or nanotechnology type of things. So I think that's something that would definitely help when it comes to these kinds of new viruses that we've never seen before and all these disorders.
Good. So, Priya, a general question which many of the parents they ask us about what kind of extracurricular activity a student should take, in order to reflect great on the profile.
Okay, so those extracurricular activities, you want something that I think a lot of times it depends on what the student wants to go into. So if the student wants to go into computer science, because that's what I'm hearing a lot of, I would recommend trying to do some kind of internships over the summers. A lot of companies try to, they will hire high school students who are well experienced and they know like coding languages. They will hire them. So I would recommend some kind of internship. Regardless of what field you're going into, community service is a must. So I would try to do something, not how much you do it, but how long you do it. Consistency is important. So if you can do something over 4 years or 5 years, even if it's like 100 hours, it would look much better than doing it over a summer. Of course, if it's like some kind of like really big event where you're traveling like internationally or something like that and doing a service project internationally, and I know with the COVID pandemic, it's very difficult now, but just a future thing. If they can do those kinds of events, those would really stand out because you're going above and beyond. So something that shows your passion for what you do and you can talk about it. Those are the kinds of extracurriculars you're looking for. Research, I think, would be great as well, but I know that a lot of labs are hesitant to take high school students, but if that's something that they can do, I would always recommend that.
Good.
God bless.
So anything else, Hassan, you would like to know?
No, so I believe that she has answered all the questions smartly, and it seems that she's really a mature person. So before college, she is really a mature girl, and really I pray for you, and even I wish you to, I wish that whatever you dream, especially for the medical part, you may get, and God will grant you all your wishes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us and giving us, a lot of information which we will be, transferring to our students and parents, and hopefully they will also become doctor like you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining. Have a great
Have a
day.
good time.
Bye-bye.
Have a good time. God bless you.